What's our channel called again?
Exactly.
Waffle Media. There we are. Hey, we're live. That's cool. Welcome to the chat room. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here. All right, what up, fam? There's no fam. It's just us right now.
Yeah.
When the first person shows up, how many people can show up before they're a fam?
One.
Okay, that one person is our fam.
Yeah, one person is fam. Am I not following us? Yeah, yeah, I am. Oh, come on now.
Welcome to the chat room. The anticipation builds. Hey! Oh, see, Corey's fam.
Corey's definitely fam.
Corey doesn't even have to show up and she's fam.
You could just meet a person one-on-one and be like, what's up, fam? And it works.
Oh, fam is singular? I didn't know
fam
that.
is singular and plural.
Oh, okay. What a nice all-purpose word. Another all-purpose F word. I appreciate it.
All-purpose F word. The more that I have in my life, the better. I'm not seeing our channel for some reason.
Maybe you blocked us. We got up in your chat and we were rude, so you blocked us. I'm just making
There we go.
a list. So guess what? We can write on the table now. So our bullet journaling
Whoa,
knows no
whoa.
bounds. Oh no!
What did I do?
A recursion.
How do I mute? Mute, please.
Probably there you go. I just checked the monitor in the kitchen and we are definitely live. Okay. Well, my app isn't telling me how many people are watching. I assume Corey exists, but she doesn't seem to be counting as a person. Okay, we got some people. Hey, what's up? Oh, including my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So,
Hi, Molly's mom.
let me actually... So, I don't know if this will work. Hey, I'm Molly. This is... I think you have to point it at
I have to do it
I can eyeball.
Oh,
There's
hey,
Nick.
I'm Nick.
And we are setting up... That worked better than I thought it would. So we are setting up our bullet journals for this month. And in the process, we're going to show you how to set up a bullet journal if you've never done so before. And so I... actually have kind of a plan for how to instruct a bullet journal setup for once in my life. So I'm going through it right now. We are going to, if you want to, that's us. In case you forgot, in case the mirror was too much for you, you're a vampire or something.
Or if you wanted our more attractive illustrated versions of ourselves.
Yeah, these are the shadows in the back of the cave. If you want to look at the cave, we can flip this mirror over.
Oh my god. Was that like Plato or some like
It
philosophical?
Was. Yes.
Like...
Yeah, just some deep cut Plato jokes for this Bujo stream.
Man. What does Plato even look like?
Well, let's find out. So we have, this is actually our RPG table, but we're just using it for Bujo times. If you would like to, if you already have a bullet journal that is clipping along, welcome back. We're glad to have you. If you've never bullet journaled before, it's always kind of difficult to describe what bullet journal is to someone who has not. Here's the thing: talking about someone has not been exposed to it. Talking about it to someone who has not sort of immersed themselves in it, as I have, it feels like when people talked about superfoods a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, what are these berries called? Acai berries, and someone else goes, oh yes, they have antioxidants and they prevent cancer and they make my skin better. And it's just like, are you sure? Are you sure that berries? A berry can do that?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I feel like I'm on the other end of that exchange when I talk about bullet journal to people.
I don't want to be the multi-level marketing friend.
Yeah,
you know
no,
I mean?
I don't
hey,
get a...
You should really check out this group that me and Molly are going to, and you know, it sounds silly. It sounds like really crazy in today's world of 2018, the year of our Lord. But come to the meeting and listen to us talk.
I know. I talk about bullet journal as if I'm going to get a free toaster for every 5 people that sign up, and it doesn't work like that. It is a genuinely sort of helpful system for creative types and for just anybody for whom a sort of pre-printed planner. That's not a phrase.
That's
I've just coined that. I'm going to copyright it. No, for anybody who has kind of felt stifled or even overwhelmed by a planner that has the dates already printed in and people that can't find an app that organizes them in a way that sort of works. The bullet journal is what I describe it as an operating system for your planner.
I love that description.
And then your brain is the processor. And then you get to design the interface as well.
Yeah.
And you have to you don't have to super over design it. And certainly if you look up bullet journal on Instagram or on Pinterest or wherever they gather, it can seem a little sort of overachievy.
Yeah.
And it's actually very simple. So I'm going to I have this written off camera. I'm just going to wipe it down. And so we are going to, if you'd like to follow along, just get out like a piece of paper and a pen, honestly. And if it works for you, you can migrate it into a notebook later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about migration a little bit. And Nick, meanwhile, is going to set up his actual functioning bullet journal.
You guys are going to watch it live while Molly's...
He's got it just off camera because there's some NDA stuff he can't...
I think I got it all covered up. I think we're pretty good.
I've also brought my date stamp.
Yeah.
My personal date stamp from my personal collection. So we are going to, in a blank notebook, here's how you set one up. Mm-hmm. First, we're going to set apart our index, which goes like this. And just set aside like maybe 2 pages for your index. And don't worry about what an index is. We'll get to it in a bit.
Yeah.
On your next, and then open to your next set of pages. And then you're going to want to start numbering, which I like to do at the top, actually. 1 and 2.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess it's easier like when you're like paging through.
I actually, because here's the thing, guys. I live in this rabbit hole, and it's really nice when people come visit me at the bottom of this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I have a corner punch that I use, and I put it in the corners of my notebook so that I can just pinch with my thumb and flip to the most recent page. Because any excuse to buy office supplies is a good one in my book.
You are the most office supply-y person, if that's a word.
I was almost, before I was told with words that I should be a singer-songwriter by one of my songwriting idols, I was on track to become a teacher. And much of the drive was, 1, I got to keep my summer breaks, and 2, I got to buy office supplies seemingly indefinitely.
For work?
Yeah,
for office-y things, even.
Yeah, I went to one of my pals. Her mom worked at a large corporate office for a major American company, and I don't know why I feel like I can't say what it is, but it doesn't really matter. But they had a supply closet, and I didn't know that was a thing in offices. And I was like, oh my god, you could just walk in here and just grab a tab of Post-its whenever?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You feel like you're stealing, right?
You do, yeah. It feels like petty theft, but...
I am committing crimes.
Yeah.
But hey, somebody paid for them already.
Yeah. It's on the company dime.
Yeah.
So back to the future log.
Back to the future log. I like that.
Draw a little car with some flames coming out.
Do the dock.
So what you're going to want to do with your future log is you're going to want to... Hey, my light turned out. Okay, that's cool. Did it go to sleep? No, it died. Okay. It's given like an SOS right now.
We can use
epilepsy warning. It's cool. If you can read it, then I'm not going to worry about it. It's kind of nice to know it has a sleep function, honestly.
Yeah.
So in case it turns on in my bag. So
it's still really good.
All right. That's why I opened this Wanda. We are going to... There's several ways to lay this out. The most basic way is just like... Let's write February. March. And draw like a line kind of down the middle, I think. Like that. April. And... May. And so it should look like that. Some people will divide it into thirds this way. Some people will you could maybe subdivide into 8 months if you were super ambitious and you don't think you're going to burn through this notebook in that span of time.
I did mine across 2 spreads, and I think it's 2 spreads, 6 months or 3 months per page.
Oh yeah, hold that up to the camera.
Oh yeah, here.
I really like this grid. Yeah. That's super cute.
I changed it on the next spread because I don't know, I was experimenting.
Yeah, and you only do as much fiddly maintenance as you enjoy.
Exactly.
You know. I should have gotten a ruler. That's an abomination.
You know what I've been using?
Your postcards.
This friend shipping postcard.
Who made that? That's amazing.
I illustrated it, and I'm not too ashamed.
It actually matches the markers we have available.
Yeah, we have a theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, I keep a postcard in my bullet journal. It serves as my 3rd bookmark and also a straight edge when I happen to need one.
It's really good.
And it's also pleasing to look at.
We'll get into my Joe later. I have a whole kit. Oh, there's my pen. What up? My favorite pen. And I have this, which I actually use as an inbox to keep
I remember the
things
inbox.
And that's from my Hobonichi Techo days, you guys. I've spent a lot of money on paper. Sorry, trees. Sorry, God.
Most of it's recycled by now, right?
Yeah. So we'll get into what what just fell down? Something fell down. So this is how to review. So we're setting up a bullet journal. First, we've made an index. We don't know what that is yet. And now we've made a future log with the upcoming number of months, as many months as you feel is appropriate for your needs.
Yeah.
And so now we've set that up. We'll come back to the index and the future log in a moment. So now we have our first blank page.
Right.
Let's number it 3 and 4, just to be on the safe side.
Mm-hmm.
Date stamp it if you're feeling fancy. Boom.
That's a satisfying ka-chunk.
I know. I almost got one of the ones with the little like dials, the little sort of rotary gears,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
this is ka-chunk.
Yeah, the ka-chunk is
Yeah.
where it's at.
It's like I'm notarizing the passage of time. It's a very good feeling.
Notarizing the passage of time.
So,
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
In the end.
Actually, and let me write down the steps as we've been going through them. So,
Yeah, good idea.
Bujo set up. I'm very excited about this dry erase table, guys. Can you tell?
Yeah, it is the bee's knees.
Step 1, index. Step 2, future. Log. And now, step 3, make a daily. And a daily is...
Wait, do they do the monthly first, or...?
Well, I think if you're starting out, you can just use the future log as your monthly for, like,
That's a good
next
idea.
month. Because we're, like, at the end of this month as well,
Yeah,
so...
that's true.
Why would we would have to retroactively populate. If it would be more trouble to retroactively populate a monthly, then just go to the next monthly. So,
No, that's right.
We are going to actually start this... Actually, yeah, okay. Start this bullet journal on behalf of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
so,
this is Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I used to share kind of my personal Bujo, but that felt a little sort of too intimate. So, so let's see what Luke Skywalker has on his to-do list. So first, he's going to, and Mac provided this to-do list for us and made sure it was accurate to sort of Luke Skywalker's schedule. So first thing he's got to do is he has to repair moisture evaporators.
Mac is like the personal aide to Luke Skywalker, right?
Yeah, I mean, he manages his date book.
Yeah.
At the Eastern Range.
That's a job. That's a job and a half.
Right. He's got to go to Tashi Station. And so as you're going through and setting up your bullet journal, because obviously don't set up Luke Skywalker's bullet journal. It's not going to do him any good if you have it. As you're going through, like, just kind of think about what you have to do today. Write down some work stuff. And in the case of Luke here, I'm writing down errands, so you can write down errands. I worry I'm headbutting the microphone.
No, you're.
Okay,
You've got a good.
I'm really
solid,
doing that matrix bend.
Yeah, get in there. I'm gonna answer some questions from chat while you're filling stuff out.
Great.
All right. Unicomics asks, "What is this about?" The Unicomics. This is bullet journaling, which is something that we've been kind of working on for the past, I guess, year or so now. We've been kind of like in and out of it. And it's Molly likes to describe it, and I think this is a great description, as an operating system for a journal in which you organize your tasks, to-do list. It's really been useful for us being individual. I can do like this. I can talk to you this way.
Yeah, hey!
Being independent creators and working individually and not having bosses per se.
Yeah.
To kind of have our organizational methods. Or most of the times when I've worked at offices, they have their own like scheduling / organizational project oriented shit. So this is not ours, but this is a version that we've been using, and right now Molly's going through the basic setup. If this is your very first bullet journal, kind of what the pages are, the basic fundamentals of it. There are videos on YouTube you can find, but we're going to go through and do that. And I'm working on my actual bullet journal, what my month is going to look like coming into February.
Yeah, and you can, there's no like wrong subject matter for, like, I have actually friends who maintain a separate bullet journal for work, and then another one for just kind of their personal stuff.
Yeah.
And so like as you're kind of thinking about what you have to do in your day, write work stuff, write down errands, write down like correspondence, like if you've been meaning to call or text somebody, like write that down. And you could also include like personal sort of goals.
Yeah.
Even like I have like drank 8 cups of water as one of my goals for the day.
Yeah.
Even though it's not on the same footing as like book flights for this wedding that's
Right.
coming up, but it's still a thing I have to do, and
Right.
it doesn't hurt to just the process of writing them down sort of keeps me aware of them.
Right, and that's kind of the miracle of it for me, and the one of the weird ways that our minds work in that, having to write these things down on a daily basis or monthly or weekly or however frequently you're doing it, really does help cement them in your head. Like, I know that there are a lot of moving tasks that I have to do this week, and wrapping my arms around all of them is really challenging because things are going to get forgotten. So part of my plan later today, and maybe I'll do it on stream if we have time, is write a moving list, like the things I have to do and get ready for. Things like reserve a truck, buy boxes, organize help, and buy other things like tape and stuff like that, and turn off or turn on utilities, etc.
Yeah, because I include stuff like unload dishwasher,
Right.
and there are certain things that like I don't want to write them down every single day, so I have a
Exactly.
little ping in my phone,
Yeah.
maybe, but there's no wrong way to start, and so once you have sort of your day one with work stuff, errands, correspondence, personal stuff, chores, whatever you feel is appropriate. So with Luke, he has to, at the end of his day, let me see. He does. Oh, here's the thing I need to explain. So the sort of defining thing about the bullet journal system is a process called migration, which we're about to get into. And so it's called the bullet journal because you write your to-do list with bullet points. And I use check marks sometimes, but that's just like an aesthetic preference. Functionally, it's all the same. So you write like. So here's a thing that is done. Here's a thing that you're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here's a thing you're going to do later. And here's a thing you're not going to do. And so at the end of a day, stuff that gets done, just put a little X over that bullet point. Stuff you're going to do tomorrow, put a little rightwards caret. Stuff you're going to do later, give it a little leftwards caret. And stuff that you don't have to worry about, cross that shit out. You don't need it
really
anymore.
good. I was almost thinking that maybe next month when we do this, we make the entire bullet journal on the whiteboard.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Probably easier to read.
and it saves you from having to make these faux ones. Although these souvenirs are kind of fun.
Yeah, no, this is I have last month's stream actually still in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So at the end of your day, I'm going to choose a different pen just for visibility's sake. So at the end of Luke's day, what has he gotten done? He has repaired the moisture evaporators. That pen's too big. He repaired the moisture evaporators. He didn't go to Tashi Station, and in fact, that is canceled.
Oof. Yeah, the moment has passed.
Yeah.
He can no longer.
He missed the opportunity.
Well, he can no longer return.
And he also doesn't have to pick up Life Day presents for Owen and Baru. So those are all canceled.
Is Life Day like Star Wars canon, like as a thing? Like they call it Life Day.
There is a source of. I mean, have you seen the Christmas special?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Damn it, I forgot that existed.
Well, and I think it's up for debate as to whether or not that is in fact canon. But it has there's Life Day carols and things.
Yeah.
We'll see if they mention Life Day in the third new trilogy. I don't know if they mentioned it in Last Jedi because I haven't seen it yet.
My Life Day's coming up.
Oh, so Luke did buy some new droids, and they did speak Bocce. Good on him. And he kind of, I'm going to put a question mark, because he did give them an oil bath.
Yeah.
He did not give them a memory wipe, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
He did find R2.
That's good. That's important.
Didn't passage to Alderaan, that's canceled, because Alderaan is canceled.
Alderaan is canceled.
And become a Jedi like my father, we're going to migrate.
Yeah, he's working on it.
To the top of
Maybe
the next
didn't
day.
finish it yet.
So we're going to start.
I like Luke Skywalker's bullet journal.
I do too. And again, shout out to Mac for making sure that it's accurate, faithful to to Luke's commitments. So we're gonna migrate, become Jedi like my father, forward. Become Jedi like my father. So that's this process that we've just went through is called migration, and we didn't throw anything to Luke's future log because again I haven't seen Last Jedi. But so what else is he doing? He's gonna investigate some meteor strikes.
Yeah, I haven't seen Last Jedi.
It's one of those movies where I don't know if this is just a me thing, but like when someone's like, "Oh my god, have you seen movie title yet?"
Yeah.
If there's that kind of energy, like I really want to talk to somebody about it, then
Yeah.
that actively repels me from wanting to see it. Because I'm like, "Oh, if this is the climate, if this is the kind of conversation you want to have, I don't want to have this conversation with you."
I don't want to lie to you, so my solution is
I want the take stove to cool down just a little bit.
the take stove. I like the take stove. I was gonna go take oven, but because then you can go easy take oven.
That's a good point, actually. He's got to get a new saddle for his Tauntaun.
It's important.
Yeah.
Saddle is where the Tauntaun ride is won or lost.
I'm gonna just Tauntaun.
That's what my dad taught me.
Find missing right hand glove.
Are there 29 days in this February, or are we at 28 still?
That's a good question. I think we're at 28 still.
Chat, can I get a confirm on that?
I would ask Siri, but I'm locked into chat right now.
We're busy. We're doing things.
Missing right hand glove.
Chat's gonna help us.
Go to Dagobah.
Lunar Jade says, I started doing one of the day page thanks to you, and it's been really great. Thank you. You're welcome, and
Yeah.
thank you for doing a one of the day page. One of the day pages are awesome, and a good way to remind yourself, even when things are bad, that sometimes good things happen.
I have seen Lunar Jade's bullet journal. It's very pleasant.
Ooh.
Not to brag anybody.
28. Thanks, Master Gunner. Thank you, Lunar Jade.
Get X-Wing.
You guys are the real MVPs.
Out of swamp. That's important.
Ooh, yeah.
Get
You gonna
X-Wing
put a
out.
little star next to that one?
Yeah, actually, a little star, because we know that one's important.
Yeah.
And I have like little symbols. I'm gonna make a little waypoint for this errand over here.
That's your waypoint.
Little. It's just a little upside down teardrop with a
I
boop
like
in
that.
it.
Yeah.
It's gotta meet Yoda. It's gotta go into evil mystery hole.
I forgot about that mystery hole.
Yeah, I mean that's why he wrote it in his bullet journal,
Yeah, see?
so he wouldn't forget.
He did not forget. He actually went. Man.
Complete Jedi Training. And chat's been very nice about this, but I'm pretty sure Jedi has a capital J, and I've been whiffing it this whole time.
Hey, I'm curious, and this is just a random thought while we're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Has it happened yet, or have we not had yet a movie in which like the main character is like a YouTube personality or something like that? Not in real life, but like the character.
I mean, Bo Burnham had a TV series called Zack Stone is Gonna Be Famous. That was about like sort of a. I don't want to say failed. I don't think that was the plot of the show because frankly I didn't watch it, but.
Yeah.
It was sort of how Seinfeld is like, oh, everything in my life turns into stand-up.
Yeah.
And Mulaney and every other sitcom that every other stand-up has done.
Pretty much.
I think I may be the only person in America that watched Mulaney, unfortunately.
Well, then you can write the review.
Yeah. I get to edit the wiki.
Yeah. That's a lot of power.
I know.
And with great power comes great responsibility, just like Luke Skywalker told me.
So let me see. I wonder, I don't know if we can move anything. I'm going to take the liberty of putting... so at the end of day 2 for Luke Skywalker, he did not become a Jedi like his father. We're going to migrate that one forward. He did investigate those meteor strikes. Good on you, dude. He's got to modify this one a little bit. It was get new saddle for Tauntaun. He's got to get a new Tauntaun. So we're gonna let's throw that to the future. We're gonna migrate that one that way. Didn't find his missing right hand glove, and frankly, it's not important anymore. Did go to Dagobah.
What happens when the sun sets on Dagobah? It becomes night Gabah.
No. No, how could you? I thought we were friends.
That joke is not mine. I think I saw it tweeted somewhere. But
how does Luke Skywalker get through the forest?
How?
Ewoks.
It's true. It's very true. He does.
He meets Yoda. He does go into the evil mystery hole. He got a lot done this one.
Hey.
On day 2.
On Dagobah 2.
Did not complete Jedi training. I'm gonna kick that one into the future as well.
I look forward to when we start naming planets like, you know, something name and then a number after it. Because then we just got fucking lazy of trying to. We started just naming systems, and we're just like, this is the 3rd planet in that system, so fuck off.
Yeah. Because that's sort of the Hitchhiker's Guide, sort of the Douglas Adams version of the universe. It's just as bureaucratic and awful as Planet Earth is.
Yeah.
She says as she punches a date stamp into her.
Yeah, that's just
okay.
Put
So
a stamp on that one.
What do we got to migrate forward? So he's got to. So day 3, Luke is gonna become a Jedi.
Dang, 3 days.
I know he's been migrating that one for a while. He should really just get around to it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like about migration, honestly, is if Luke is writing, I've been saying I'm gonna become a Jedi for like 3 movies now.
Just gotta do it.
I just gotta do it. I either gotta do it or I gotta push it to my future log. So, what else has he gotta migrate over? Just defeat Vader, I think.
Defeat Vader?
Yeah, that's the only sort of holdover from today. And then as for this stuff, get new Tauntaun.
Yeah.
Complete Jedi training. We're gonna kick those into Luke's future log. So he's gonna do those in February. He's gonna get a new Tauntaun. And he's going to not defeat Vader. He's gonna do that today.
He's gonna do that today, on the same day he becomes a Jedi? That's a busy day.
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
Maybe it's like Friday and he's like trying to gear up for the weekend.
Yeah.
Just get a bunch of stuff done.
He's in crunch.
So he's in crunch. Oh man.
Complete Jedi training. Okay. And I'm gonna put over in April. He's gonna have moved to Island and publish Porg recipe book. Cause he eats
for cooking pork.
He eats porgs, right?
Ooh, I didn't know
those little puffin things on the island.
Is that
what else? How else does he sustain himself? Do Jedi's not have to eat? Okay, so
maybe he concentrates really hard on not being hungry.
Okay, so here's what Luke came into day 3 with. He's got to become a Jedi. He's got to defeat Vader. He also has to free his friends.
Oh well, I mean, that's like Jedi's main job, but it helps even if it's something that is part of your everyday kind of routine. Every now and then, it's good to write it out.
He's got to go to Jabba's house and free the prisoners.
Yeah,
including Han, droids.
Lunar Jade makes a really good point. Maybe he needs some smaller steps to become a Jedi. The goal may be too large on its own.
That's a good point. He's got to make.
Yeah.
Actually, we could make.
We're past the point now. Maybe he's got a separate list somewhere with.
I was gonna say on this page we should make him a Jedi collection.
Jedi collection. Steps to become a Jedi.
Yeah.
Two kind of middle of the road Star Wars fans are gonna try to recollect what it takes to be a Jedi. It'll be great. I'm sure we could come up with some really good stuff.
Look,
make thing float.
None of this is canon. Okay, so
run really far with a small man attached.
I'm gonna finish this daily, and then we're gonna make him a Jedi tracker.
I like it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
What other kind of goals did I want to make sure I did? Oh, Patreon posts.
Okay, so he's gonna return to Dagobah. He's going to complete his. Did I already have? Complete training. Is up there? We have talk to Leia about that thing.
Oof. That was gonna be a weird talk.
Yeah. And maybe there's a separate sort of page for how that, like, he takes, like, meeting notes, because that's what I do. Save Dad.
Save Dad.
Kill Emperor. And that's... Well, I'm going to put a little phone, because that's correspondence. Bring balance to Force.
That's an important one.
Yeah. I'm frankly surprised it didn't show up sooner, but, you know, he kind of... You got to sort of make a linear sort of progression. Bring balance to Force. And actually, I'm going to put a star on that one. I think that one's pretty important.
Yeah.
And a party. And also cremate dad. So
Save dad. Somewhere in here, somewhere between these two,
yeah,
something happens. Ooh.
yeah.
Is dad emperor? Oh.
It's
You know what's funny? I like the idea of somebody like maybe 300 years from now finds this journal
yeah.
and is really very confused about what's going on.
I do worry. I do worry about like certain movies becoming mistaken for historical record, and Star Wars has not been one of them. You know, like, but I think it would take some digging in the archaeological record to find out that Best in Show is not in fact a documentary.
Yeah.
And people would go like, I think unless you found the whole canon all at once, if you put any of the Christopher Guest movies out just by themselves, you would be like, oh man, this band called Spinal Tap, have you heard of them? So at the end of Luke's day, he does become a Jedi. Good on you, my buddy. 5 stars.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. He does defeat Vader, question mark. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Because what does defeat really even mean?
It's true. So does he free prisoners from Jabba's palace? He gets Han.
Yep.
He does get Chewie.
Ooh.
He does get the droids.
Uh-huh.
He does get Leia, and he does get himself. So we can mark that one as did.
I like the idea that as he like maybe cuts the shackles off of one, he like has to open his bujo and be like, sorry,
got it.
I got it.
And I imagine in this bujo, the bujo that it would have like stickers all over it. It would have like, you know, the cool S, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And he would tell himself it stands for Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know.
He'd put like Kai Walker after it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That just became canon.
Yeah. Because some things never fade.
Did your school have the cool S? Like, was that a thing when
Yeah.
you were a kid?
Oh, yeah,
What
absolutely.
did you call it?
I don't know. We call it just. I think it was just the S. You know how to draw the S, right?
Yeah.
That was it. Like, if somebody says the S, and there's an immediate either yes or
What is that?
what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those two things is gonna happen. Or there's a pause before the yes, and then they say yes, and then you know they're lying because they have no
Yeah.
idea. They don't.
They try and fake it.
And then you call them on their schoolyard bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, this one would have the cool S all over it. I feel like he didn't really have his stuff together, so it would be like just a composition notebook.
Yeah.
Kind of falling apart. He would flake on a lot of spreads in this one, I think. Like, he would start a Jedi training spread and then would abandon it because he has to leave.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And this one is, like, black.
Yeah. Like, who?
It's just
that was just a day.
It's a black, like, German notebook of some kind with the pages pre-numbered, and he's like, I got this, you guys. Tick, saved you. He does talk to Leia about that thing. Save Dad, question mark.
Yeah.
He does kill the Emperor.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, he does kill the Emperor.
He does bring balance to the Force.
Yeah.
He does party.
Definitely parties.
Yeah. Hundo. And he does cremate his dad.
Yeah, I'm really upset about the lack of
So
emojis in the new Star Wars movies. I would have thought that being at 2018 and all.
Did you hear about...
Oh boy, here we go. Something's gonna happen that's gonna make me upset, isn't it?
Okay, I don't know how to get...
Are you trying to get me or you?
I'm trying to... I don't know.
If you're...
Can you see the camera?
I can see the camera now.
Okay. So, like, in Saudi Arabia, they had a 35-year ban on cinema. It's just they didn't have any kind of cinema. But I guess the newest prince is real hip and cool and modern, and he's trying to sort of modernize the country and sort of bring it up to speed with sort of the rest of the world culturally. And so they lifted that ban, and the first movie they screened was the Emoji movie.
Oh no.
So it's in their history books.
Oh no.
From now until the end of time.
They didn't stop to ask if they should.
Right. And I mean, I'm not going to be so pompous as to tell them what movie they should have started with.
Yeah, exactly.
Because certainly nothing will bring you up to speed on, like, here's where cinema is now, then the Emoji movie.
Exactly, but Emoji movie's probably not in the top, 1,000.
Wouldn't have been my
so.
first choice.
No. We can easily say that that's not.
Yeah, and
would not be a suggestion coming from us.
And like just how I don't want to be so like imperialist as to tell them how to lift their cultural bans on things.
Yeah.
So anyway, Luke has gotten some stuff done. And so let's see. We'll go back to our index now. Luke forgot to number his pages, you butterfingers.
Yeah, well, he's busy with all that
6.
force training.
And so we will go back to we'll just kind of categorize this sort of bonkers cut weekend he had.
Yeah.
Pages 3 through 5, and we'll add that to the index in case he wants to reference it later.
He gets home and he's just like, man, I've had a week.
Well, we're just going to call it Original Trilogy. / Jedi Becoming. Question marks? So that's how that do. That's basically all you need to do to start a bullet journal.
Yeah.
And then once you've kind of gotten used to writing stuff down, checking in on it, you don't have to like carry it around with you and check on it always.
Yeah.
I like to just set it up in the morning, reference it, and then come back to it at the end of the day and see how I did. It's just kind of a status check.
Yeah, mine comes out while working, mostly because and this is something that we didn't really get into with Luke's bullet journal because he's got really enough shit to do.
Yeah.
But I track while working. I track things like hours and projects and stuff like that. And that's helpful for me because I freelance. But like, yours might be just as simple as Luke's. Hopefully, a lot more simple than Luke's, and you don't have to save and cremate your father in the same day. But
Yeah.
who am I to tell you really what you're supposed to be doing with your time?
So what I'm going to do actually, because one of the things you can do is if you notice like a pattern of sort of related activities that you keep all like writing down day to day, you can make what's called a collection. I'll say the lightning bolts and the cool S. Oh, I just did a cool 2. Shoot. Okay, it's a cool 2 now. That's embarrassing. That's all optional. But it's just kind of a way to sort of group together tasks that you see as related. So if we go back through Luke's, if he had made this collection earlier, we would have added become a Jedi like my father. Go to Dagobah. And lift rocks with mind. Carry Yoda around in a backpack.
Yep. What other? Destroy Death
This is
Star.
all-
Is
and
that
I-
part of his training, or is that
I
just
don't
a
think
thing he
so.
did?
That's just a thing he did.
Yeah.
And I'll say as well, we've ventured away from the beautiful canon that Mac set up for us.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Mac. Carry Yoda around in a backpack. I'm gonna just add a little arrow. Stand on head. And if Luke wanted to do this in like a week, he could set up a little tracker. Just make a little Monday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And just like worked on it today. I did kind of half-assed it.
Yeah.
Didn't do squat. This, and then bounced to go fight my dad or whatever.
Yeah. I had to take the weekend off to kill and cremate my father.
Had to go kill my dad. Had to go kill the Emperor and then my dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't kill his dad.
No, he was there.
Yeah, he was just he was
He
present.
took credit for
Which
killing
is
his dad.
traumatizing in its own right.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
no wonder he went to the island.
Yeah. We got any more questions from chat? Oh, hey. A
Um,
lot of nice faces in there.
not really. So Tabby Cat says I got adulting stickers for my Bujo, and adulting stickers can mean a variety of things, but I'm assuming like washi tape kind of style.
I'm curious, yeah, what that means.
Yeah, what is adulting sticker? What is an adulting sticker?
And let me...
Break it down.
I haven't actually looked into what on my personal Joe is shareable.
Yeah. While Molly's checking through that, I can kind of walk you guys through what I've been working on while she's been doing the Luke Skywalker Bujo.
It's very important.
So I've been setting up my monthly, and this is just how I set up a month, standard calendar looking thing. I put a couple of goals here in the bottom that I'm going to fill up like little health bar kind of things. Goals for commissions, goals for streaming, goals for posting on Patreon. Below that, I have 2 columns for Patreon and Twitch, basically kind of keeping an eye on like what the income is coming in during each week, right? From that, what my Patreon page is at, and what my Twitch revenue was for that week. And those have been useful numbers for me. I keep track of them elsewhere, but having them in a monthly allows me to see the progression over time of ups and downs, and seeing where and when I'm making money. And then below that, or to the right of that, I'm working on some monthly goals. And if we look at like last month, without exposing too much, I don't think I'm going to expose too much with these.
Yeah, we got some post-its. If you
got
need
some
to cover
post-its to
anything.
cover. These will be organized by category for me. This is a very much a work thing, where I will divide my work into 3 categories, and most of that is contract, personal, and commission work, and that's the first 3 there. And then below that is like admin, research, which I think I was going to turn into bills, and the dates that they're due, and then another category for fun. So these bottom 2, I think I'm going to just like combine and make other, and then have like a separate spot for that. But this is where things get migrated to if I need to push them further into the month. You know, like I'm doing my daily or something, and I'm like, oh, I need to move that further, so I'll put it back over here. This is also where I pull from when I need to figure out what I need to do today, because this has my due dates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was not so good at using my future log because I also use apps.
Yeah.
I kind of there's no app that is arranged in a way that my brain needs. And so I mean, again, I live in this rabbit hole, and it's toasty down here, but like I figured out kind of recently that I don't really work on a month kind of basis. There's sort of stretches between large events. And so this spread is about 2.5 months. So this over here is November, and this is December, and this is the first 2 weeks of January. Because I didn't use the journal often enough that I could justify making a monthly that was so kind of sparsely populated. And I had this kind of big sprint of like, there's travel here, there's travel here, there's travel here, there's travel here. And it's hard for me to recover from a trip and get back on bullet journal, so I figured I would just kind of try and because it feels like kind of laying out train tracks as you're on the train.
Yeah,
a little
very
bit.
much so.
And so I just tried to lay out as many train tracks as I could in advance. And so I have, it's easy to divide a page into halves and then divide those halves into halves. And so with that, you get 7 usable calendar columns, and then this extra column, which I use as like an index for stuff specific to this stretch of time. So I have like, here's sort of the I didn't go to Desert Butt Desert Butt.
Desert Butt one.
I didn't go to Desert Bus this year, but I had a little timeline for like when my friends were driving, so I could watch, and I have just like weekly schedules over in their own little index over here. And the notebook I use comes with a pre-printed index, which, as you can see, I've not gotten that deep into. I've put like how many squares I need to count in order to make grids of certain sizes.
Yeah, that's clever as a first page thing. Like if you're looking to do a lot of subdivisions in your page things, I can see like quarters right here based on the color.
Yeah, because you're rocking the same.
Yeah.
I found out if you count, you can make a week that's about 4 units wide.
Yeah.
On a single page.
Yeah.
And I've also, the other thing I've started doing is my scheduling sort of time sensitive stuff is up at the front, and then I'm from the back moving forward, I have notes and things that I don't want to get like buried by me scheduling past it. So I've been taking notes on books I've been reading because I'm still trying to figure out how to read for enjoyment rather than like business or trying to turn things into a song.
Yeah.
Trying to learn about Gantt charting, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to get sort of, if I decide I took some meetings on, or some meeting notes, and I have all this space in the middle, and I figure eventually it will be sort of telling for me when I use up this notebook and I meet the note and the scheduling section somewhere in the middle, how close to the actual middle will it be? And there's kind of this watershed kind of in the middle, and will my notes section kind of eat into what's allotted for my scheduling or vice versa? And then it'll kind of dictate how I organize the next one.
Right. And that's another thing that's really, and we've talked about this before, if you've watched this show before, is the ability to alter what you're doing on a month-to-month, week-to-week, or day-to-day basis based on your own interactions with the bullet journal. So, like, if you're acknowledging that something isn't working for you in the way that you thought it would, the last thing that I think anybody would want you to do is to do more of that. Like,
right.
you know, just, you can say, all right, you know what? This tracker isn't really working for me, or this weekly or daily thing isn't working for me. I'm going to go and I'm gonna remove it, or, you know, try something else, or try to evolve it in some way. And that's always been, like, the fun part for me.
Yeah, the active sort of development process you find yourself in.
Exactly.
And it's actually, I mean, again, it feels like I'm talking about, like, acai berries or Amway or something.
Absolutely.
Kind of the way that this is like the language of a convert is what I'm using.
Yeah.
But like, just the process of like going through my own bullet journal and thinking about kind of what about it works for me and what doesn't work for me, and kind of how flexible I can be between, like, from week to week even. And the parts of the process I enjoy and the parts of the process that help or don't. It has really helped me kind of chart specifically the way my brain works and kind of what information I need to sort of be effective and how I need to present that information to myself. And just practicing that skill has sort of bled into the rest of my life. Like, my home has become more organized because I have a sense of, like, first thing in the morning, I need this stuff just ready to go. And it pays to do that. Because a lot of bullet journaling, like with, you know, looking at these spreads and stuff, is doing work ahead to make your life easier later.
Exactly.
And investing time in yourself.
Right. And I think that's a really good, like, description of it. Investing time for yourself, knowing that you need to, that these things are helpful, and removing the things that aren't. So when you start getting in that frame of mind with regards to just this journal that you keep, that's going to bleed into other areas of your life. You're going to respect your time a little bit more. You're going to acknowledge what information is useful versus what information isn't useful as part of your day goes on. And also just the fact that you have what me and Penny like to call, like, a PEMDAS, right? And PEMDAS is the, like, arithmetic term for, like, an order of operations, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we call, like, hey, there's a PEMDAS. We make coffee, then, you know, we do XYZ, check our phones, get up, you know, brush teeth, cook breakfast. Like, there's an order to things, and one way or the other, we all kind of follow our own internal order.
Yeah. Like,
we don't always know it, but we have a method that we do things on a day-to-day basis.
And, like, nobody is going to, because the fantasy is always that, like, I have a Jeeves type who goes, good morning, Miss Lewis. Here's what you need to do today. I've set out your outfit and your breakfast is.
Yeah, no.
But you can do actually a lot of that for yourself. Like,
exactly.
I've started laying out my outfit, and I fill my water bottle, and I pack my purse before I go to bed the night before, because I can think more clearly about what I am going to need. And I've sort of picked that up from doing bullet journal and from knowing, like, by the time I get to this gig, I'm going to want to have this information. I'm going to want to make a list of the stuff I need to pack. And I want to start that list early so I don't forget anything. And it's just made me I don't want to say it's made me a more organized thinker, because that seems like a big statement, but it has.
I think that's a true statement.
It's helped me sort of, because, like, there's no mental health professional under whose care I have been who is willing to say what it is that I have and what is busted about me. But they all will say, like, you have shades of ADD and we see shades of executive dysfunction, and they're all just kind of delicious little tinctures in the cocktail that makes you. And really, like, kudos on my mental health professionals for not putting me in a box and telling me that's the box I'm in.
Yeah.
As much as I've asked them with words, please put me in a box so I can be treated. But in any case, like, knowing that there's some sort of obstacles that I need to work around, no one is going to know better how those obstacles are helped or hurt than me. And so it's just kind of, I'm basically making myself my own life coach.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
But a lot of that starts with, a lot of that is information, but a lot of it's also honesty with yourself. And things with, like, a bullet journal is you can't lie to it.
No,
like, you lie to it, you're just, why are you doing it then?
And that's what the leg up it has over, like, apps is, because if you goof something or you drop something, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still
Whereas
there.
I can delete a to-do item from my phone and it is gone seamlessly forever.
Yeah.
Like, there's kind of, it's sort of like, and this is maybe is kind of a grim way to put it, but there's sort of this graveyard of like all the stuff that I thought I could do with my time. You know, there's a record of, and like, you know, with like Luke, we know, looking at Luke's spread, that he delegated becoming a Jedi. He deferred that for 3 movies.
Yeah.
But he wrote it down every day.
Yeah.
Of, you know, well, I said I would become a Jedi. Like, we know that we have on record that he attempted it more than once.
Yeah.
And it helps me, because also my memory is garbage.
Whew, yeah.
The
Boy,
garbage.
shucks howdy, yeah. Oh boy, it isn't.
And so it's nice to, like, oh, well, the last Joko cruise I went on, I felt real good. What was different about it? And I can actually go back through my archive and be like, oh, well, because I a month out, I contacted this person and asked them to help me with that. Yeah. That kind of thing.
I remember distinctly telling a friend, I forget things. And it's just like, I'm not trying to say that because everybody does, but like, I need you to understand
it's
that
not a free pass.
It's a legitimate thing that I actively have to combat on a regular basis and things like this.
No, and actually, I know I've talked about this on stream before, but some of the best advice I've gotten from a personal organization front was from my mom, because she is sort of creative in the same ways that I am, and she kind of organizes herself in the same ways that I do, and I'm sure that that's not a coincidence.
Yeah, really.
But I think it's a combination of I learned how to organize from watching her, and also I kind of have to overcome the same sort of mental blocks that she has to, and so she told me to plan my tomorrow as if somebody else would wake up in my body and have to do my stuff and follow my instructions.
I do remember you saying that. That's really good.
And bullet journal is great for that.
Yeah.
And I've brought sort of some aids for, because the thing with bullet journal for me, the thing I've kind of come to recently is the idea that it might not be structured enough for me, for my needs in particular. And I still maintain my journal, like I keep meeting notes in it and I journal in it more, actually. But the thing that is nice about it when you're a creative is that if you kind of have a bad sort of mental health time, or if you're kind of like your projects are kind of slow and you can keep track of them mentally, you can just kind of drop bullet journal for a bit, and when you come back, you just start on the next blank page and just pick up where you left off. And that sort of forgiveness is really nice, because I definitely have bought lots of planners that are just January's all populated, and then like September to December's all populated, but there's this big chunk in the middle that I can never use.
Yeah.
And bullet journal kind of solves that problem. But I spent so much time, I enjoyed the process of developing the system so much that I kind of never sat down and used the system.
Yeah.
And so this year I'm actually using a pre-printed planner, which is not to say I'm disavowing myself of the bullet journal system. I am still using it. And for my day-to-day to-dos, I'm still using this migration process. But this is an Ink and Volt planner, which I was actually pushing an ad for it on Instagram. But they do a thing that every planner should do, and I don't know why they don't, which is they show you in a PDF what is on the inside of the planner. Like, why don't they all do that?
Yeah, just go to this link here, or maybe it's even a QR code or something silly, but that's really smart.
And the thing I noticed about it was I was kind of looking at this PDF and going, okay, well, it's got a month grid with some notes on the side. That's kind of what I do. And then at the top of each month, it has these guided little sort of visualization exercises, basically. And so this month I will check boxes and then a little sort of doodle space. For the next 30 days, I want to space. I want to make this happen because space. My plan of action is space. And as someone with shades of executive dysfunction, this is very useful for me to kind of focus myself up at the top of a month and figure out, like, how are these tasks I'm laying out for myself, how do they serve something larger? Because that's an easy thing to get lost in. And then on each week, there is sort of a guided exercise, like, what do you do to care for yourself this week, is what this one says. And each one of them is different. Weekly goals, just a little kind of gratitude space, reminders to check in on previous pages, and then your week is a grid, like this. And this is how I did my weeks in my old... I expanded my weekend a little more, because I'm not quite a Monday to Friday person.
Yeah.
But the thing that was really clutch for me, that I actually didn't know until I had already bought it, but these are labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday weekend, and then there's morning, noon, and night. and a yellow Post-it, of which I have a bazillion, fits almost perfectly in this little square. And so that's kind of when I went, oh, I can make this work. And the morning, noon, and night designator also really helps me because I had a lot of planners that were... No, that's not even true. I made a lot of Bujo spreads that were time specific, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I would wake up at 10 and go, oh no,
everything's fucked up.
I shot my whole day in the foot.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, the line between morning and noon is lunch, and the line between noon and night is dinner. And so that's just kind of how I treat that. And so it's easy for me to, as a sort of self-structuring, creative type person, put like, okay, so after breakfast I need to do whatever's in this box. And after lunch I need to do, and after dinner I need to, before bed. And so it's, I wouldn't have known that these layouts work so well for me if I hadn't bullet journaled, is the thing. I was able to recognize the pieces of this interface and go, this suits my needs. I didn't know what my needs were until I had started bullet journaling.
Right.
And so this is what I use for just like kind of operational kind of day-to-day sort of planning. I don't think there's anything so I have, and I actually, if I don't, I will retroactively fill in things just to remember what I did that day, and that's also helpful. And if there's like, in my meeting notes with Nick, I drew a picture of a lady who had her dog leash around her waist.
Yeah.
Who's being dragged forward by her dog.
Like who's walking who here?
Because I don't know if I'm going to look back on this in the same way. I will look back on my bullet journal, because there's a certain pride in the maintenance of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't feel for this, but just knowing like, okay, it's the end of the week, so I have blank pages that I need to fill in now, and I don't have to get over the hump of like, I have to make my spreads.
Yeah.
And it sort of keeps me committed to it. So that's one thing I'm on this year.
Yeah, you told me about that the other day, and like, it seems like it's
It also comes in purple. Nick, it comes in purple.
If you could take your bullet journal and print it and lay it out,
yeah,
you know what I mean, and then make a book out of it,
yeah,
that's what you would make.
If anything, yeah, it means that I can't make money off my layout. Somebody already is.
Yeah, somebody else already did it.
you can just buy the PDF and put it on like your tablet if that works better for you. Which the problem for me with organizing myself on my gizmos is it often feels like everything else is in my phone.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Yeah, like you open your phone and like you'll be like, okay, well let me check my to-do list, and then you get a Twitter notification or you get a DM or whatever, and it just kind of throws you off the track. But
sometimes I'll just like I'll grab my phone with the express intent to open up my productivity app.
Yeah.
And then I will, like, muscle memory will just go, hey, Twitter time, let's go.
Yeah. If there was an app I could download that just moved Twitter around on my phone,
so you couldn't find
just put it in a different, it'd be like the app equivalent of that alarm clock that rolls off the bed and yells at you.
Yeah. I need my phone to run away from me next time
that seems like, I mean, maybe kind of a dangerous proposition.
No, yeah, absolutely.
But if there was, like clocky, but you put your phone in it and it carries your phone away.
Yeah.
Though I have my phone on a tether now, so I can put it around my wrist.
Wiimote.
I did.
Is it really? It looks just like it.
Well, because it's got, hold on. Got the special lenses, and so you can buckle a lens into this case, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's a cool little...
Snap.
That's
Boom.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I basically never need to buy a camera again.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean...
Content creation. But yeah, the other thing I'm on, and this is not, we're out of the kind of prescriptive section for me. I have made this PDF, which I should maybe actually like put on the Waffle website.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But it's...
Because I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but I really like what you're doing. So this is cool.
I use this for... I'll actually hold it up to the camera a little bit. So I use this for like just day-to-day time tracking stuff. And so there's a morning, noon, and night. There's a little area for the date. There's check marks. This is for time, like work tracking. Starts at 6 a.m., goes till 10 p.m. in little half-hour chunks. These little grayed out areas are actually the various Hobbit meals, because it kind of helps. Yeah, we have breakfast, second breakfast, 11Z's lunch, afternoon tea, dinner, and supper.
Yeah, that's got to go on the website. This is too big. That's really good. I'm into it.
And then there's just sort of a gridded area for workspace. And what I do with these is sometimes I'll just have it flat on my desk, but on days when I need to like leave the house, because I designed this thing because I wanted to have some reminder of what my obligations were that day without having to carry my phone around, because that's one, it is like literally ruining the butt pockets of most of my pants.
Yeah, you get the little the
That
creases.
little, and I have a pop socket on my phone case most of the time.
Oof.
So you can fold it into quarters, like so, which I normally don't do in the air. You have like a folding tool and stuff. But then it comes out to a thing about this size, and then you chunk it with a date stamp, kalonk.
Like you do.
Like you do. Yeah, man, once you buy a date stamp, you can find, it's like Frank's Red Hot. You put that shit on everything.
Yeah. It is.
And so then it opens up.
Like
It's nice.
checks and like
Yeah.
anything you have to mail ever gets
Yeah.
a date stamp on it.
It's really good.
I
And
get just date stamp emails.
I actually put date stamps on the back of Post-its sometimes if I need to like put it on a thing.
Yeah.
Like on my, just if I sense that Post-it is going to live there for a while, I will date stamp the back so that when I'm like, when did I write this? I can just take it off and be like, man, I wrote this in September. I don't need this anymore. Which I should just be able to know by reading the Post-it. But anyway.
Yeah, but we don't always work that way.
Yeah. But so then when it's folded up, it's nice because I can whip it out of my pocket and be like, you know, here's the stuff I was going to do in the morning and the evening. And I actually, because the problem that I have had historically with any of my pen and paper systems is repeating myself across them. Like I'll put something in my Bujo and then I'll write it again in a field notes and then I'll write it again. And so what I use this for mostly is like literally, like if Scott Bakula were to wake up in my body and have to do my stuff, this would have instructions like you need to find your phone and open this app and then that app will tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You need to Google this address. You need to call this person. Like the actual, like, not the mental tasks, but like the physical, you know, you need to reference this section of this book. So you need to go find that book.
Right.
And so I'll do this with a big marker because, or you know what, actually, here's what I can do. Tell you what, let's do. In the words of Bob Ross. So, for morning, like I need to, before I get anything done at my desk, I need to take out the garbage. Gerbig. That's how that's spelled, right?
Yeah.
And draw a little line. So after lunch, I need to say, call the Department of Revenue. Or who knows, and then I'd put the number. On the checkmark side, I just put a little arrow if it's an app that needs to be launched. A little arrow through the. So I need to launch Things, which is my to-do list app, and I need to launch Inbox, which is my email app. And I need to launch, you know, Flat Tomato, which is my Pomo timer. Or like sometimes I just need to like set a timer on my phone. And just like the basic kind of physical things I have to do to set myself up for a good work day.
Yeah.
And then over here I do like water tracking, and I will sort of write more elaborate and sort of detailed to-dos.
Yeah.
And then on the inside here I will time track. And if, for God forbid, I need to write more stuff somehow, I can write on the inside. But so this is just kind of for day-to-day operations. And like if I don't want to sully my other Joes with my sloppy handwriting, I have this basically disposable, recyclable thing.
Right. And
that I then turn inside out and use as just scratch paper.
Right. You can use it as scratch paper. I can even imagine like if you weren't if you didn't want to be precious with it, you could also just like cut out a square or whatever note was important and then just
I've literally
inside of,
I have sent it through the printer again and printed a map on the inside before. That was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And that's because it's sort of the same problem for me that the Ink and Volt solved, where I found myself really luxuriating in the design process.
Yeah.
And it helps me to just like, now I've designed the crap out of this and there's no more designing I can do. I have to use the system now.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of what it is it feels like I'm in a development process, but there's no published date. We are just constantly developing, and at sort of points like this, it's like, well, now my designs have been published and I have to use them.
Yeah. Now it's time to actually.
Yeah.
That's good. Here I can catch you guys up on what I've been doing.
Yeah, please.
So Pomodoro Tracker is something that I've been using on and off for the better parts of
Pomodoro's so good though.
a year and a half since I've been freelancing. Is that visible?
Yeah.
We need it that way.
You good?
Okay, good.
Maybe I can hold it to the mirror so we can see you.
There's a little oh boy. There's a little gray line.
Oh, that's me. Hey, what's up?
There's a little gray line that runs 12 squares in.
This is a failure.
And if I've done that many Pomodoros, that means I've had a full work day, which equals roughly about 6 hours worth of work. And that's usually meant for like artwork and maybe some admin email stuff, but for the most part, this is actual work. And then if you want to consider a full work day, then there's 2 hours of extra doing shit, research and other stuff like that. The next is Project Tracker, and this is left blank right now, but I can show you maybe a little instance of it. Is there anything in here that's nope? Yeah. So these go hand in hand with each other because I'll be sitting there filling in squares as I do a Pomodoro, and then I'll fill in a square for the appropriate project, so you have an idea on how long things are taking me.
That's a really good idea.
And it's a way for me to have these separate pieces of information that are important that they are separate, so I know how much I'm working in a day versus how much I'm working in a project. But they serve different purposes, but they're very related, so they almost always go one spread next to each other. And that's that. And then so I'll write the title of whatever project I'm working on, and then as I fill in pomos, I put one there and I put one there for whatever project it is. And as I get a new project, or when I start working on a project, I'll write it in, and that'll be its separate zone for that. It helps with certain things that I have to bill, like hourly or or daily, like how many hours do I consider a work day? Is usually 8 to 10 if I'm billing. Like, so 8 to 10, if I'm in that range, then that's a full work day. Next up, and that's the next thing I've started working on, is a much cleaner, like kind of streamlined habit tracker that I've used before.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of things that I kind of was keeping track of, like wake up before XYZ, and I started to notice that if two things were happening, if one, I was doing it all the time without the habit tracker, probably don't need a habit tracker for it anymore.
Yeah.
Second, if I'm not doing it ever, then I probably shouldn't have a habit tracker for it yet.
Yeah.
Like, I need to actually start making it a habit. So these things are the things that kind of live in here that I almost do every day, but every now and then kind of there's room for improvement, right? So things like bullet journaling every day. It's hard to hit every day. Walking the dog, working out. I'm trying to be a little bit more active on Instagram and other social medias. Making sure I'm doing a full day's worth of work, streaming, sketching and illustrating for myself. That'll go there. Also, something I'm toying with, which I'm leaving a big empty space for because I don't want to do it on camera yet, is a place to put, like, I figure like habit tracker is a good place to maybe put when I'm my sleep time. I don't know. So
yeah,
we talked about this a little bit earlier on stream, and Molly had some really good solutions. So I'm gonna think about it. Maybe put some stuff in a brain dump page and try some stuff out until I get something that I like.
Let me see if I can find. There was actually a really cool sleep tracker layout that I saw that I may try to recreate, which you've probably seen as well. But like, so you mumber the nunths. Me and my
good old Mumber nothing.
I know. Oh, Mumber and Sons, right?
Yeah.
me and my spoonerism. What is going on?
That's good. I'm into it.
So you number all the way down.
Yeah.
For your days of the week.
Yeah.
And then if there is like a window in which you find you normally go to sleep, no matter how wide that window is, like you may go to bed as early as 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight, 1, 2. Wow, I have not given myself a lot of space for sleeping in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is hot garbage on a plastic plate. Let's try that again. I'm going to write smaller. So, say 8, 9, 10. Am I doing this correctly? 10. Right there. 11, 12, 13. What the hell? 1. Okay. I'm myself a little sleep deprived and also a little hungry, so this is maybe not the right mindset to be doing this. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess. I'm just kind of going on the every other.
We get a general idea.
Yeah, this is assuming you go to bed super early, so that's a 12-hour window.
I have some friends that go to bed at 8 p.m. and I'm just like,
excuse?
I don't know how we can be friends anymore.
Yeah.
We have to find some weird hours where we're both awake.
Yeah, so say you go to bed at like 9, and then you get out of bed at 5, because you're some kind of unholy. You're an abomination against God. So So yeah, you mark down went to bed at like 8:30, got out of bed at 7, and then you just kind of fill in that space in between.
Yeah. See, I like that.
And then over time,
Yeah.
over the whole month, you kind of get
You have an idea. You can
sort of a scatter.
get like a median of when I'm mostly in sleep.
Yeah, you can kind of suss. And I mean, maybe it would help since you're doing days as rows to have some sort of grade for like how many pomos did you do that day?
Yeah.
Or
That's a good idea.
some like measure of how productive you were.
Yeah.
And I think the number of pomos you complete is a good sort of indicator.
Yeah. Next up is win of the day. It's something I want to keep doing. I'm not going to fill in the dates now. I think I might actually do them as I write them out because I've been wanting more than one line some of the times. So I'm going to leave myself some open space for that. And then the last two things, which I can kind of show you guys from last month because they're not going to change that much in this month, is income. Look at all that sticky note that's covering all that. Very basic date, source, project, and amount. And then streams. This is getting kind of like revamped a little bit and trying to figure it out. So this is information that you can get on your stream summary page, and it's very simple. And here's just a place where I can collect it all and have an idea, beginning and a duration, average number of viewers, what I was streaming, like I put ad game, and then something like at the bottom here, just a summation of the revenue from the week. So going week to week, I'm trying to like get in the 3 to 4 streams a week range-esque, and this has been really helpful in keeping track of that and kind of seeing. It's fun to see numbers go up. Like who doesn't like that? So that's been it. And then I think after that is pretty much it for setting up a month for me. Then I roll into, doing, 2 more pages for brain dump. It's just a really simple spread, just wide open. Shit that I write down that doesn't really have a home anywhere else. A lot of it tends to be like Bujo improvements or thoughts or experiment. Like how can I format this column before I actually get to the page that I need to do it?
Yeah,
there's
sort
a lot
of
of
meta.
sketching and So there's a meta organization there. You can kind of like whoop these.
Yeah. Let me actually, what is today? The 31st. Let me actually set up one of these for, I'll go tomorrow. So, this is the other very satisfying thing about this date stamp, is the means by which you select the month.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So like whatever you slide in, that's really awesome.
Yeah. It's just got it on Amazon, you guys. It's very good. Treat yourself.
Awesome. Always has to be in purple because it's Twitch.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, because I have searched over hill and mountain trying to find apps that do all the stuff I want.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's just easier to tell an app to remind me to check my Bujo than it is to find an app.
Yeah.
Because and maybe this is also helpful, the apps that we use to organize outside of our Joe. I use Things, which is, I think, only on iOS. But it's just any app in the Getting Things Done system I have tried.
Yeah.
And Things, I like Things best. And I also use, there's an app called Due, D-U-E, and the icon looks like this. This is sort of a big old circle, and a check mark, and then a little, it's supposed to be like a timer. So that's Due on the iOS. Draw a little apple.
So what does it do? What does it do?
It is both reminders and timers, and the reminders are, it can be stuff like remind me every Monday to I don't know, to fill the gravity feeder for the cat.
Right.
Or remind me every other Thursday to something. Like I use it to remind myself when my friends are streaming, if my friends have like a regular show.
Ah, nice.
And then you can also have timers that are just kind of named. And so I have one that is 6 minutes and 30 seconds long that's called Don't Forget Your Coffee, you dingus. And so
6 minutes and 30 seconds long?
Because that's about how long it takes for coffee to get undrinkably cold.
Oh, that's really clever.
Because I'll set the coffee machine to like dispense a thing. Or, I'll put the creamer in it and kind of let it sit so it can cool down. But if I forget about it, like if a coffee mug is not in my hand, I forget that it exists.
I do that with tea all the time. Like, because right now I'm streaming out of a garage.
Right.
And sometimes it gets cold because I stream late at night like a silly goose. and I'll go and make myself some tea, thinking that's a really smart thing to do, and it really is. But then you get caught up working or whatever, and then your tea is cold, and you're like, man, I just wasted all that.
We got to get you a Kigu, my boy. Well, I guess you're moving, so it'll be kind of moving.
Yeah. So I'll have a new stream set up, and that's something I'm looking forward to, is being a little bit more consistent with having a space to work in that's designated for work now.
Do you have any interest in the Kigurumi lifestyle?
I do, actually. I just haven't found the Kigu for Migu.
Yeah, you got to find your sort of Patronus Kigu, as it were.
I think it might be a Totoro. I can't remember how to draw him. Maki draws the best Totoros.
It's just kind of...
doesn't he have like these weird like arrow ears?
Well, he's...
Can't remember what This is definitely not him.
We're just drawing him from memory.
You're drawing a cat. I'm drawing some weird version
he's got like little feet. I drew like a penguin and a cat at the same time. And there's like something involving little like tick marks.
Little arrows. Yeah, these guys.
And he kind of has a creepy like Cheshire Cat smile. Hello. Oh my God, I made. Oh.
Yeah, see, look, you did it. That's like I got like little arrow ears. I forgot what it was like.
Hello.
That's really good.
It is me, your neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
Oh, a Kigu.
So Kigu will be me.
Oh, I saw in chat. I saw in chat. So a Kigurumi. Sorry to erase my beautiful Totoro.
No, it's good.
A Kigurumi is like a.
Let me erase my terrible.
I want to
Totoro.
say it's Japanese in origin, but they're those sort of pajamas that look like a sack, and they're usually shaped like some kind of character. So like imagine, if you will, a millennial.
Millennials are ruining Kigurumis.
Millennials are ruining pajamas, you guys. And so they're kind of shaped like that. They usually button down the front. Sometimes they zip.
Yeah.
And there is sort of an arms they're kind of like, you're sort of winged like a flying squirrel.
Yeah. They're very much pajamas.
Okay, you're going to be carrying a selfie stick, I've just decided.
There you go.
Yeah, put a phone up on there. That's not what a selfie stick looks like.
Oh, I just got a notification. Sharp-toothed snail is new here. Hi, sharp-toothed snail.
What up? Welcome. You're just in time.
You're in Kigurumi drawing territory.
We're poorly explaining what a Kigurumi is.
Yeah. They have their bullet journal. So we have to keep this on brand for our stream.
Yeah. And they're taking a sweet selfie.
Yeah.
I think I have maybe not accurately conveyed the slouchiness of the Kigurumi
Oh
as
yeah,
a
they're
garment.
very slouchy.
Yeah, can I see the eraser?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, let's just kind of cut this out
at
the bottom here. Yeah, they tend to...
They're very baggy.
They tend to sort of bag around your ankles, yeah.
Yeah, and they come in a lot of different characters.
Yeah, this one's supposed to be Pikachu.
There's a Pikachu one.
So it comes with like a little garbage felt tail.
Yeah.
I actually have two. I have one that is a penguin and one that is Eeyore.
Yeah.
Selfie. I made Finn from Adventure Time, but like...
Yeah. in a Pikachu Kigurumi.
In a Pika Kigu, yeah.
Yeah, in a Pika Kigu. That's a fun little phrase.
That's yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have...
We can keep drawing on the table.
Yeah, we can keep
It's
drawing.
like Macaroni Girl, but in my home.
I would love to do a show where we just talk shit and it's like IRL, but like, hey, let's just talk. It's just like, hey, here's me and Molly catching up as friends, and we're just gonna draw on the table while we do it.
There's a Pokeball. Sort of do one of those. Getting kind of artsy with this sort of half-dried.
Oh yeah.
Half-dried dry erase. There's no way to draw a Pokeball that doesn't look like a boob. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that they were designed after that.
Yeah. Nope.
So, over by...
Oh, so what do I should update?
One of the big new construction areas down the street has this big crane, and it just has Lewis on it.
Hey!
And then like...
I made it!
But, cherry on the cake, and I need to send you this photo later. There's like a little... So it's one of these big-ass cranes, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, in fucking glowing letters, it says Lewis.
Hey!
Right? But then there's like a little tarp over here, and it says Mo.
What?
Yeah. So I need to take that picture of it and send it to you, because apparently you own a construction company.
I never know what to do when I see like my friend's name on a brand of some kind.
Yeah.
Like, because I have a friend named Tara who spells it Thera, and so there's a building over by Card Kingdom that is Thera Tech. I don't know if they pronounce it Thera or Tara. She pronounces it Tara. And I sent that picture to her, and I was like, "Hey, apparently you have like a tech startup in Seattle or something." And she was like, "Yeah, I also have a brand of flu medicine." I was like, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that. You probably hear that all the time."
Yeah.
Sort of a good golly Miss Molly kind of situation.
I'm gonna tell you, as your friend, and as somebody who cares about our friendship very much,
Okay.
to always send me those.
Okay. Man, I was waiting for the shoe to drop on that one.
I was like, don't ever.
Because when someone says, "I'm telling you this is a friend," and this
no.
is for our friendship, you're just kind of like, "Oh."
Oh no, what did I do?
Oh man.
Oh, you're gonna tell me
You finally noticed.
Yeah, you finally noticed.
You've finally seen my fraudulence.
Yeah. Is there any questions or comments? Or anybody want to tell us something special or awesome about
coming
the
up on
bullet
like an
journal?
hour and a half? Yeah.
I think we're getting close to wrapping it up. We set up a Luke Skywalker bullet journal. So if you guys got any questions or anything, send them our way or pop them in the chat.
Yeah. I put my phone in. I don't have to unlock it to look at chat mode, but it still goes to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Mine's been doing okay for some reason, because usually I would think it's the one that wants to go to sleep all the time.
Maybe we can like take requests for what we can draw across this big table.
Yeah.
I hope nobody needed these notes.
Hey, you guys just rewind the video.
Yeah, just clip it if you want to. There we go. Okay. We have a question in chat that says, "Is it cheating to work in pencil?"
No.
No, I don't think so.
The only reason I don't work in pencil is that the smudge factor happens and stuff gets kind of faded and runs and disappears. But no, there's no. And
like the notebooks we use, the sort of bullet journal suggestion ones, the paper's very slippery.
Yeah.
And pencil smudge is real easy, but like, I mean, I don't think it's weak. No, I think because I use ink just because I like ink pens better.
Yeah.
And I want an excuse to buy them.
Yeah.
But and also it's in the sort of migration process, it kind of does. It's not like you would erase a thing at the end of the day and rewrite it the next day. You would just cross it out.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's like I definitely use pencil first when I do like layouts or grids of any kind though.
Yeah, and plus, you know what? It's your journal. Like I think the only rule is really just don't lie to yourself, because then like it's redundant why you're doing this in the first place.
Don't what yourself?
Don't lie to yourself about what you're doing. Like, but other than that, it's your journal. Like, decorate it however you want. Some people buy stickers and labels and do all kinds of fun drawings. For an artist, I draw very, 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 very little in my bullet journal, and people are usually pretty surprised to hear that. But it's like I draw in a lot of places. So bullet journal is kind of like the one place that I don't draw.
Yeah.
But, you know, do whatever you want. It's your journal. If you want to use pencil.
Your journal, your rules.
Your journal, your rules. You want to use colored pencil? That might be fun.
Oh, dang. Like, one of those, like, those little color changing ones you get from, like, the store. Yeah. The hardware store. There we go. I own a crane company, apparently.
All right, we got another one. I typically work in pencil. Don't go over enough for it to smudge. That's awesome.
That's good to know.
I've spent most of the month being like, I'm gonna set up my bujo, and had made the future log, but you guys now prompted me to make weekly, so I can actually put my do this today in there.
Weeklies are great.
Weeklies are great.
I might have a weekly. I can show. Yeah, because I actually do fortnightlies.
Fortnightlies.
Yeah. Because let me see. This one. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I can show this one. So.
You good?
I think so.
I'm gonna look at see if I have any that I can show.
Yeah. Okay. Just that one. I mean, they'll be able to look at the clip and see what it was, but this one I fell off, but the layout is about the same. I have my Monday to Sunday, and I have this big old space at the bottom for notes, which I really recommend. And I did some time tracking over here. That's 9 through midnight. And it was kind of nice because, like, for some time in this window, I had to get my mailing list out by Wednesday, and I could work on it at any point up to then. Had to do laundry in here, had to pack for California for Thanksgiving. And so it's... I think I have a fortnightly somewhere. Yeah, this was the weekend after... which I also can show. So, yeah, this was the week following, and I went from Tuesday to Monday because that was the length of my trip. And so it was like a trip specific weekly. Because that's always the weird thing. That was the thing that kind of pushed me off of paper, like pre-printed planners, was I would work like a convention and it'd be like, the con's here. I need to travel in here and I need to fly home here.
Yeah.
But, for the flying home part, you would have to flip to the next week, and that just seemed dumb.
Right. That's the same reason why I started putting next week on the same page.
See, this is a good example. Like going by this color scheme that I have.
Yeah.
With the highlighters I didn't bring down this month.
I got one if you want.
Yeah. See? Oh yeah, you got the same. Oh no, the mild liners.
Yeah.
I love them mild liners.
They're really good.
And so I made a fortnightly kind of. What is this? This is a Wednesday to Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday.
Yeah.
And so I really stuck with it up here and kind of fell off, but like it still counted. And so, yeah, weekly spreads are great, especially if you don't need to keep track of that much stuff, or if there's a sort of a big overview kind of thing.
Yeah. It helps me with planning for the future and not having to go into really fine detail into a monthly.
Yeah.
Because I used to try to do that in a monthly, but then there's so much, this is not a brag. I don't want to brag that I have so much to do, but I have so much to do that, it was filling up a monthly page way too much. I didn't have enough room for it. So being able to whittle that down into a weekly and then use that in a daily context as well. There's a soda on a plate. Let's see. Other questions. I use pencil in new layouts while still figuring it out. It's really good. That's awesome, Lunar Jade. Ichiban Dashi says, how much time do you spend on the journal a day on average? That's a very good question.
That's a really good question.
So on Sundays, I do my weekly migration. So weekly migration. This can take anywhere between 45 minutes to maybe an hour, right? And this is taking all the stuff that I maybe didn't finish or was working on this previous week, making a new weekly layout, setting up my to-do list, and kind of planning my Monday through Saturday again. On a daily, I want to say I spend maybe 15 to 30 minutes combined. So what this means is I may spend 5 minutes doing my to-do list. And the way that a bullet journal is set up is it's all migration. So all I'm doing is taking my yesterday's to-do list and stuff that I thought I wanted to do this week from my weekly to-do list and combining those in and saying what can I accomplish today and then organizing those lists. So really all I'm doing is moving thing from one area to another. So it sometimes takes me just 5 to 10 minutes to set up my to-do list for the day. And literally it's a list. It's a bullet, much like this one. And it's like, here are the things that I want to try to get done today. And every now and then I might put like a number and a circle next to it if I want to order them in priority, right?
Right.
So like maybe this will go 2 and then 3 because they're not always in order. So yeah, but with the various trackers and stuff, occasionally throughout the day as I'm working, it's always next to me and I'm going back and filling in. So this is like a minute here, a minute there, like coloring in, writing a note or doing a new thing. So combined on a daily, I would say 15 to 30 minutes. And it's really spread out through an entire day. Morning, while working, and then before bed. And a lot of this is this short for me because I do a lot of front loading. So monthly, you guys sat here and watched me put together a monthly, can be also about a 45 minute to an hour to set up. And that might have been a little bit shorter because I'm doing this on stream and I'm talking and doing other things, so it doesn't have my entire focus. But that's about as much time I take with mine. I think it's always important to make sure that the things that you're writing down and the time that you're taking to invest into working on your bullet journal is actually helping to make you more productive and not less. So don't be, if you're having fun doing it, by all means, but if you're worried about the time that you're spending on it, make sure that the things that you're actually writing in there and are using are helpful for you. So for instance, I think I can show this stuff. A lot of my stuff is color coded, and colors are really fun and nice to look at, but the highlighters actually have a meaning. They tell me what category of work they're in. So like, while that is both pleasant to look at, it's also very effective, and like, I'm not coloring extraneously to make things look pretty. Like, there's a purpose to them.
I definitely colored extraneously to make things pretty, and it's because I also have because your pen has 4 different colors in
It's
it.
got 4 different colors in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this makes it a lot easier to also do that kind of
Yeah,
thing too.
and you also have like because you are a visual artist, you have a pen roll that you generally keep.
Right. I can pull this up over here. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
made by a company called Benny Gold. I really like it.
Makers of fine things generally.
They're maker of pretty fine things. They're based in San Francisco, and I went to their store back when I used to live there, and I like some of their clothing and some of their hats, but I think it's bennygold.com. But if you just look up Benny Gold,
Google it.
you Google it, it'll be there. Yeah, do that nice little search.
Spyglass.
But this it's got enough room for a bunch of pens and pencils, my stylus, and my other Wacom apparatuses, and then it rolls up and into this
It's
nice
really
little
good.
pouch, and it snaps closed.
Yeah.
The snap is a little bit short. I don't think you can fill it to the brim and still close it.
Yeah.
But
You also have stuff in the pouch.
I have a bunch of stuff in the pouch, pencil sharpeners, erasers, and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Well, because I could probably go get my pen loop, but I don't really want to go upstairs right
No.
now. I got to a point where I was like, I liked the aesthetics of it so much, and that was kind of part of what kept me on the system was I enjoyed maintaining the visual style, and it kind of, I would also like, I would put like, one of those lap desks on my lap and sit on the couch and watch my stories, and like, sort of when I was idling, it was sort of like knitting, you know, it was just sort of a craft that I did with my hands at the end of my day.
Yeah.
But I got addicted to the feeling of like, I am going to be so organized.
Yeah.
And would kind of really rack my brain to develop these systems that I then wouldn't have time to use.
Yeah.
Or that were just kind of too encumbered. Like I would have pages and pages of trackers that I would then just forget to check on.
Yeah.
And I've sort of learned there is sort of a threshold of like how much I can actually keep track of, which is why I got a pre-printed one for this year, is because there is, like honestly, one of the most freeing things about it is there's only like 3 or 4 pages I can work on per week, and then I just have to get back to work.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, you get to that point in working on your journal where you're like, okay, I'm done. I have to go and work now.
The lasting things though have been I have all these little symbols that I use that have translated into like when I write Post-it notes for myself. So
I started stealing that.
It's
I like it.
Got a little shopping cart.
Yeah.
And I got a little. This is an errand.
Yeah.
I gotta write an email. Gotta call somebody.
Yep.
I don't know what else. I have. This is
plane. Do your plane. Your plane is really cool.
this is my symbol for Ben, which is also Gandalf's symbol.
Aw. Yeah, I like your plane.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Little airplane.
Good little icons.
Yeah.
Let's see. A couple other questions in here. Mistakes just get a Bujo character. Get too pressure on my layouts. Stop being a functional planner for you. I totally understand that.
I agree.
Question. I tend to do my monthly spread early because I don't want my future log getting clogged. Is that strange? No.
No.
I think that's great.
I can't imagine what someone could say about how they use their bullet journal that would make us go, "Oh God!"
Oh God, no! Yeah.
What?
Oh, I think that's a really novel idea. If you know exactly where that monthly spread is going to land, or you don't care where it lands, then by all means, like if you need to set up ahead of time.
Yeah,
it's the same reason I add 2 weeks to every weekly is so I can like throw ahead to the next week a little bit. And Molly showed that with the Fortnite stuff a little bit.
Because I have this is actually what my future log looks like these days. Because I put one way at the very front and it wasn't so Raven, so I actually started with these 6 months, which is why I had a semester, and then I was like, well, screw it, I can put Post-it notes over the stuff I don't need. So I started to make my other, and it's nice to have a grid. It's nice to, like, the way that, this is maybe a cool hack. The way that I make grid calendars is actually pretty easy. I don't know if it's easy for most people, but so like I have my grid calendars and I have Post-its for upcoming trips. So once that trip is this is gonna, it's theoretically it would have, this is all moved into an app now, but I have just like what the thing is and where I need to go. Like actually this, for a theoretical trip to Victoria, my skit ideas for when I get there are in an app called Bear. So I have a little icon saying, go check Bear for this. And so for kind of all the stuff that's spread out over my other organizational tools, I can centralize them with my future log. So the way I draw months is you start across the top, and this would be on a grid. It would be easier on a grid. Friday, that's out of my way. Saturday, Sunday, and then reference a phone or something to figure out when I call it the spine of the month.
Yeah.
Like what's today? The 31st?
Yeah.
That doesn't help me at all. So next month, on what day of the week are the multiples of 7?
Oh, gotcha. I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just say it's,
So
Thursday.
Thursday's the first. Are we doing actual or doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's month brewery.
Yeah, month brewery. I love this.
So if we say that, because the first of the month is on Thursday.
Yeah.
So that means the 7th of the month is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we can go 14, 21, 28.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of look out 29. And there's 30 days in this month. And that's all you need to do if you're in a hurry. Mm-hmm. And then later when you have time, you can kind of flesh out the rest of the...
This lets you know how many weeks to put, basically, right?
Yeah, how much grid space this whole thing is going to take up. And just kind of try and... You can go through it in order if you want. I prefer to kind of flesh out the grid shape as much as I can.
That's awesome.
Before I keep on the rest of the thing. But it's just kind of a good way for me to throw a month grid in some place where I might need it. What is that, 19? And then 26. And then you can fill in the rest of them. And that's just sort of quick and dirty. And this is just freehand on a table right now. It'll actually be easier if you have... there's no... If someone was I can't imagine a grid or a style of paper. If someone was oh yeah, I do all of my bullet journaling on tracing paper, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
How's that working out for you?
Yeah, exactly. That's the next question. Is it working for you? If the answer is yes, then great. If the answer is no, then okay, cool. What are you gonna do about that? Pretty much.
I think the only thing that would make me bristle is if someone was no, you also have to bullet journal this way.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why everyone else isn't.
As soon as you impose it on me, then we're gonna have to.
Yeah. Then we need to have a talk. I with a stylus, I etch my bullet journal onto tin foil.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's unconventional. Good for you for finding that.
My bullet journal is hashed out on the inside of my cave because I've been stranded on an island.
Right.
For
I bullet
years.
journal onto a clay tablet.
Yeah.
I bullet journal in cuneiform. It's way easier to migrate.
Some would say the 10 Commandments were the very first bullet journal. There's gonna be the header image for this episode. It's the pictures of us holding doing the Moses pose, holding the.
I'm trying to draw specifically Charlton Heston.
Yeah, do it.
I haven't seen the 10 Commandments in a long time.
You know what? You're doing a great job. I think this works.
And so he's got his little.
Yeah.
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 Oh no, they got to be bigger. He was handed these by the Lord, so they've got to be pretty.
Lord our God. I'm gonna take a look at the chat real quick while you're drawing.
Okay.
Yeah, treat your Bujo like a knitting project. If it isn't working, start over. I'd say even different than a knitting project. It's more just keep on knitting and then fix it. Or, it's more the top of my knitting project is awful, but the bottom is great. And that's why I like it.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
So kill. Don't.
Yeah.
What is it? Steal?
Yeah, don't steal. Nah.
Deferred.
Yeah.
Covet. Don't.
Don't, yeah.
Lie. Other gods? Nope, don't.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm gonna check your Catholicism now.
Well, because the first one is I am God, which is not... That's a commandment, but there's not really a directive. No, because you'll have no other lords before me. That's right. Yeah, the embarrassing thing is I can get my... It's all 50 states. I can get to all of them, but I can't do them in order.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the covet... Well, covet covers 2 of them. You covet your neighbor's partner, and you covet your neighbor's things.
Yeah. So that's 2. That's a 2 for 1. So you have technically 6.
Yeah. That's 6 commandments on what... Yeah, really efficient, Joe. Really efficient, Joe.
I like I want to see what got cut. There needs to be a segment. What are the missing commandments that they...
Oh, wait. Hold on. So... So this one is part Red Sea.
Yeah.
Did.
It nailed it.
Well, I think plagues was up there. We should have. That was last month. We'll put that in the...
Yeah. We did that before.
Lead the people of Israel to. We'll just put that in the future
lead.
log.
Yeah,
lead. Lead the masses.
Well, I mean, what happened to Moses after he did all this stuff?
Yeah,
did he just like retire?
That's a good question. What's the behind the music for Moses?
They retired the jersey, and they're just like, all right, well, just put him off the pasture.
Yeah.
He's got residuals to make.
Yeah.
He's gonna do Bible analysis.
They're worshiping a golden app down at the bottom of the hill, and he's like, no.
Really loving the whiteboard in the stream. It's really helpful. I agree. This has been the best.
We've had this here the whole time. We've been streaming on this table.
One bonus awesome thing you guys should know is we're streaming this from a phone.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rad. Like.
Yeah, actually, if I pop off the wide angle lens real quick, they'll see. That's what it normally looks. That's actually not bad. Nick, come look at this.
Hold on, I'll see it in about 2 seconds.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's not so bad.
It's not so bad. You know what I can do?
It's
actually?
tighter for sure.
It is tighter. I can put a fisheye on it. Should I do that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's make everybody motion sick.
I want to watch it happen.
Okay.
Definitely flat.
Oh my god, that's too much table.
Ah, you can see all the table.
Oh my god. That's maybe more. Hey, look at that boy. Hey. Yeah, see. Oh yeah, no, if I just hold it, this is a phone with a shotgun mic.
Yeah.
On a stand. This is a lamp that we inexplicably own.
I mean, it's not inexplicable.
Oh,
you guys
actually,
do own it.
We do own it. Yeah, hold on.
We can explain how that happened.
Oh, I can't. I have to create a guided access real quick. This is. I think the stream has gone far enough off the rails. We should probably call it pretty soon.
We're in rail mode.
Set saucer to purple heart.
Hey!
Well, since I'm up here, I could probably push the button to end the stream. Thanks. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. And I hope that these setup tips were useful. Every one of these streams I do with you, I'm like, I hope that I explained that good.
Yeah, I think we did a good job.
I hope that...
You know what? I think we're getting better at it.
Yeah, because you've been very consistent in, like, here's the stuff I'm doing and how it's working for me, and I'm like, let me try and get real meta with this Bujo theory.
We've got a little bit of a formula going.
Yeah.
What else is there that I wanted to mention? Oh, yeah. So, definitely follow us if you aren't already.
Yeah, slap that follow.
Slap that follow button. And if you guys are working on bullet journals at home, send us pictures on Twitter. You can find me at MYNTY Fresh. And where's Malo at? Which one do I want? Which one do you want? Oh, there you go. You're right there.
That's right here.
There you did it. But yeah, definitely shoot us some of your bullet journal stuff. We definitely want to see. We're gonna try to do this. Are we gonna do this every month?
If we can, yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to do this every month.
I think top of next month is Emerald City.
Yeah.
So maybe at the end of this month we can.
We have podcasts is in the pipeline, and we're working on that. We haven't forgotten. We got it in the books, and I got some really fun illustration stuff that we're gonna do for it.
Yeah.
And look forward to that coming up soon.
I'm also here. Yeah, go to we should plug that.
Yeah.
Go to waffle. Oh no!
That's fine.
Your beautiful phone. Go to waffle.media/craft. You can write bigger, I think.
Yeah.
We're gonna wipe this whole thing down anyway. Moses. Yeah, go to waffle.media/craft. We're trying to get a advice podcast for creative, sort of self-structuring types.
Is it craft?
Yes, yeah, Craft, CRAFT, and I should check to make sure that that's still live, but it definitely should be. And ask us questions about the creative process, about being self-employed, freelancing, just kind of any sort of creative, sort of non-traditional sort of work environment. We're accepting questions. We've actually already gotten some really good questions, and we've only done one episode, so we've been spoiled a little bit.
Yeah. Episode 1 should be coming out soon. We'll have a trailer preceding it that I think is going to be really fun for you guys to check out.
Nick has all these cool ideas for kind of stuff to do outside of just recording podcast episodes, because every loser's doing that.
Yeah. I mean, we like making things here.
Yeah.
At waffle.media.
Yeah.
I don't know if that even what a microphone looks like. Who knows?
Oh, let me show you my microphone symbol, because I Joe a lot about podcasting. So this is my icon for editing. a little.
Yep, I like it.
And then just a little pill. It's a little
Yeah.
crayon.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's it. I guess we can call that stream. Let's make sure there's anything else going on. Thanks you guys so much for joining us. It says yes, everything is live. Great.
Yeah. We're still good.
Sweet. Next time we want your faces, a faces mirror set up on the table. We like your faces. Can you do that?
I could probably buy another mirror specifically
we did
for
have
this.
like a little bit of a multi-camera setup before.
We are going from a phone, but we can definitely try and station. I got this idea from I think it's called Cuckoo Music. It's a YouTube channel that does reviews of synths, and he just has a makeup mirror on the table, and it's adorable. So yeah, we can definitely try to figure that out. Oh, I should just have the lantern be purple the whole time if that's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
We can still see everything perfectly.
Yeah,
fine.
it's like if Prince had a Bujo.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, well, we do have to put these on YouTube.
Yeah, they are going to be on YouTube.
Are they not on Twitch? Should we also put them on YouTube?
I think
is Twitch enough?
I think previous recordings only stay for a certain amount of time.
I don't actually know if this app local records or not, but I'm about to find out. Okay.
It won't record locally, but it'll record on their cloud. So we'll be able to pull up past broadcast. And then what we can do is edit and upload so they stay permanently. Otherwise, they get pushed down by more broadcasts. They only keep so many.
Good thing Waffle's not streaming very much right now.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Though this whip pan's pretty good.
Yeah.
You must pay the rent, but I can't pay the rent.
All right, well, thanks so much, everybody. We're going to call here, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Okay.